All right, good morning, everybody. Happy 5th of July, first Saturday of July. Welcome to today's Microsoft Flight Simulator live stream. I'm your host, pilot, lead singer, and driver of the airplane, Uncle B. Today, we got a couple things going on. One, we're going to fly, right? That's the most important part. We're going to go from San Francisco to LA using what you see before you. We're going to depart from 28 right. We're going to follow that night 4 departure route. I have to plug it into the little GPS thingy. But this is the route that we used when we went to Dallas-Fort Worth before I went on my trip. So we're going to come out here tonight, that waypoint, and then we're going to take a left turn, go out here over, we're going to fly over the Morning Infidel, fly over the Golden Gate Bridge, come out here to Gobbs, hang another left turn, head for Big Sur. 107 nautical miles away, we'll pass over Monterey. We got to do the Krusty Salute because you know where it is. Big Sur, and then down to San Luis Obispo, on down to Santa Barbara, and over to Point Mugu Naval Air Station near Oxnard. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to try to hug this area here. We're going to stay off the mountains, but we're going to hug all the way till we get to Circus. We're going to turn right and follow into Circus, and we're going to come in on 25 left. The route looks like this. Ta-da. So if you want to plug that in while I get ready to go, you're more than welcome to. You don't have to use the approaches. I'm just going to use those so that we can get lined up on the runway correctly and all that. So that's what it's going to look like. Okay? And then our chart, our approach chart is going to look like this. So we're going to come here to Circus, where I was talking about. And then we're going to turn in, and we got to be at 1,900 feet by the time we get to here. So we're gonna cruise at 10,000 feet, but we got to get down to 1,900 by the time we get to that last nav point on the flight. So, all right, I think I get everything kind of situated here. Let me grab my water. And then once we're in the air and on our way, we'll talk about Flight Sim Expo. This will not be an in-depth review and all that. There's other channels that have done that already. This is just going to be my take. Take it for what you want. There's other people, more famous streamers who've already had their say, did some interviews and whatnot with some of the bigger names. I don't see Kev in the chat. Kev, are you here? Are you flying? I think Kev is supposed to be flying with us today, but I don't know. He may have changed his plans. I haven't. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get in here and get the aircraft started up, all that, so we can get on our way. And so we can talk about Flight Sim Expo. Next Saturday, I don't know what we're going to do yet. I would like to do a flight in a DC-6, but I got to figure out what we would be doing for that. I have some ideas, but I need to kind of get a plan together. So we'll see. All right, let's way. That out the way. little bit of fuel in just to be on the safe side. Add an extra 10%. I think we'll be okay. Get some lights on here. Okay, and all that. Throttles a bit. Okay. Let's get the engines fired up, and then we'll put in the let's see, Infidel. No, I don't have it set up where people can talk. Infidel. Okay, it's going. Yeah, I don't have it set up for that. Eventually I will. I'm hoping. Why didn't this stuff? Oh, I know why. Forgot my. Yeah, eventually we'll get that going. All right, let's go down here and get our departure. Cruising speed's about 170. 160, between 160 and 170. Select departure. We're gonna go up to about 10,000 feet today. Night 4. Enter. 2. This one. Enter. Nope. We want to go back up one. Enter. 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 Come on. Enter. Come on. Why is it not wanting to? There we go. Enter. Select approach. Enter. 25 left. RNAV Zulu 25 left. Enter. All right. We'll go to 10. That in. All right. Let's get. Let's get. I thought Kev was supposed to fly with us, but he may have changed his plans, or he may have had too much of a good time the other day. Who knows? All right. Let's see here. All right. Oops, I forgot one other thing. Okay.
San Francisco Ground Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf
Oh,
Sierra.
I didn't
Whiskey
change my
request
thing
taxi
to
for
Clipper
takeoff
too,
north departure.
I knew I forgot
Alpha
something.
Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra taxi to and hold short of runway 28 right via taxiway Charlie Cross runway 19er right Charlie Cross runway 19er left Charlie. Contact tower on 120.5 when ready.
Taxi to and hold short runway 28 right via taxiway Charlie Cross runway 19er right Charlie Cross runway 19er left Charlie X-Ray Golf Sierra.
All right, let's do this. Let's get rid of that. Use the slew function, bring the plane back. So we don't have any. Pushback tug. We'll just pretend we had one. There we go. And he's in my Discord, so I know he saw the I plugged in the saying I was live, so. It's a nice morning flight here in San Francisco. A little cloudy, not too bad. It's like I heard a different engine noise, and I'm like, what? Did I do something to my plane and I didn't even realize it? And last flight I forgot to do the predictions for the landing rate. Make sure we do that today. Yeah, I got to figure out. I'm gonna have to talk to somebody who can do all that to help me set up whatever I need to set up to have an additional voice in the chat, if we want that. Yeah, I'm tech savvy, but not that savvy. I know there's a way to do it. You got to use like either Streamlabs or something or other to manage all that. I have a Stream Deck coming tomorrow, so that might help as well, kind of mapping out some different buttons and whatnot. The only other thing too is I have I'm going to try to get say intentions. They're the AI ATC that is significantly better than the InSim ATC. So I don't know how that would work as far as, you know, I'd have to map a button just to open, you know, turn on the radio or whatever, or use the mic for talking to ATC. I wonder if Kev overslept. Maybe he's got stuff going on with the grandkids. There's no telling. Alright, I think we are all set.
San Francisco Tower Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra ready at runway 28 right north departure.
Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra wind 257 at 6. North departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 28 right.
Alright, here we go.
Cleared for takeoff runway 28 right X-Ray Golf Sierra.
Alright, here we go. Now begins the rudder dance. I'm dancing. A little bit of a crosswind this morning.
Golf Sierra, continue for north departure.
San Francisco Tower Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra, continue for north departure.
There we go. We're hand flying it. Yeah.
X-Ray Golf Sierra leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
San Francisco Tower Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra, frequency change. NorCal approach Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is type 3 miles north of San Francisco, 2,500 feet. Request clearance to transition Bravo airspace.
Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra NorCal approach.
There we go. There's
Squawk
a city coming up.
5107.
Squawk 5107 X-Ray Golf Sierra.
X-Ray Golf Sierra radar contact 4 miles north of San Francisco, 2,800 feet. Clear through the Bravo airspace.
Cleared through the Bravo airspace, X-Ray Golf Sierra.
X-Ray Golf Sierra contact NorCal approach on 128.325. Good day.
128.325 X-Ray Golf Sierra. Goodbye. NorCal approach Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra, 3,300 feet.
Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra NorCal approach altimeter 30.10 radar contact.
We'll let the
Continue to Bravo
autopilot
Sierra
take over
Romeo.
now. There we go. Otherwise, I'll be all over the place getting out of San Francisco. So we should be turning to the left here in a minute. Should be. Yep, there we go. Pops in. We got time if he pops up to catch up to us. I think that's the new stadium there for the Warriors. That looks like a new stadium right there, a new arena. Pac-Bell Park is right there. Giants play. there's the ferry building. Alcatraz right there. Aquatic Park right there. We're over Treasure Island right now. Right there is the old Pan Am terminal for the Clippers. Flying boats. It's right there. Uh-oh, we are not turning. We have not turned. Or maybe we will. Okay, there it goes. Sure. No, I'm not. I'm on time, Kev. Said 8 o'clock. The normal time, 8 o'clock Central. You're late. I always start 8 o'clock Central, unless I say otherwise. Yeah, thank you, Infidel. Nice try there, bucko.
X-ray Golf, Sierra contact, NorCal approach on 1-3-4.5. Good day.
That's you talking to me.
134.5 X-ray Golf Sierra.
Huh?
Goodbye. NorCal approach Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra 5,600
What are you
feet.
talking about?
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra NorCal approach altimeter 30.09 radar contact. Continue to Bravo Sierra Romeo.
Well, I mean, I always start at the normal time unless I say otherwise. Hey, you got stuff going on, I understand. We're only over the Golden Gate. I was helping IHB play Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay, that's fine. Well, we just passed the Golden Gate Bridge, so if you want to hop in, you're more than welcome. There he is. He's in the Freedom Fox. You might want to pick something a little bit faster there. Just saying. No? Hey, you got stuff to do, man. It's all good. I'm not gonna... If you were busy otherwise, that's... There's nothing I can do about that. Hello, Mela. How are you? Nice to see you here. All right. So we should be turning in a moment, heading for Big Sur. All right, thank you. Yeah. Good to be back. Back to streaming. once we're turning and on our way to towards Big Sur, we'll I'm going to take a short break. Gonna hit the little captain's. I had steak and potatoes last night for dinner. Nothing fancy. It was one of those pre-made steak rolls from it's like the get it from Publix. It's like it's got like
Good day.
135.1 X-ray Golf Sierra. Goodbye. NorCal approach Alpha
got
Sierra
mozzarella
X-ray Golf
cheese and
Sierra
spinach in there.
7,600 feet.
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf, Sierra NorCal approach altimeter 30.09er radar contact. Continue to Bravo Sierra Romeo. X-ray Golf, Sierra contact, NorCal approach on 134.5. Good day.
Then we'll talk about
Going to 134.5 X-ray Golf Sierra.
all right, so we
NorCal
have
approach Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra 7,900 feet.
105 nautical miles to go.
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra NorCal approach altimeter 30.09er radar contact.
Almost 8,000
Continue to
feet.
Bravo Sierra Romeo. X-ray Golf Sierra contact NorCal approach on 135.1. Good day.
135.1 X-ray Golf Sierra. Goodbye. NorCal approach Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra 8,200 feet.
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf, Sierra NorCal approach altimeter 30.09er radar contact. Continue to Bravo Sierra Romeo.
If you take off and just take a big wide left turn, you can join up on us, Kev. All right, let me step away for just a moment. I'll be right back. We're going for 10,000 feet today, Kev. That's our cruising altitude. All right, so train ride, pretty darn good. Got to DC about maybe 40 minutes late-ish. They were running behind schedule from Birmingham to DC, about 35 minutes behind the whole way. I think we made up a little bit of time overnight, but we were still late getting to DC, which was fine, because that cut down on my wait time for the Acela to Providence. And then, so we got through that, got on the Acela. The Acela was quite nice. I have to admit, I was pretty amazed at how nice those trains really are. We were running behind schedule. We left on time, but then inevitably we got bogged down. In New York, we had a passenger who did not get on the train. Yeah, it was very comfortable. I was in the business class, and the seats were very nice, pretty comfortable. you have you'll have a partner. You know, somebody will be sitting next to you pretty much most of the way. It was a full train, especially once we got into New York. It was pretty full. People were not listening to the instructions from the conductors.
X-ray Golf, Sierra
So,
airspace radar service. Terminated squawk
yeah,
1200.
it was not good. But we got then, so we got into Providence late,
Squawk
got checked in,
1200.
got to my room.
Frequency change
Very
approved.
nice
X-ray Golf
room.
Sierra.
Got a suite. They
Oakland Center
upgraded me.
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf
at
Sierra
no
is
additional
type 3
charge.
miles north of Kilo Hotel Alpha Foxtrot 9,700 feet.
Which was
Request
really
flight
nice.
following.
Alpha Sierra X-ray
So
Golf Sierra Oakland
we
Center.
did that, and then
Squawk Tree
hold on a
106.
second. Let me get
Squawk Tree 106 X-ray Golf Sierra.
X-ray Golf Sierra radar contact 2 miles north of Kilo Hotel Alpha Foxtrot 9,900 feet.
so we got
Altimeter
settled in.
30.12.
Yeah, it was well. What happened was
Roger, X-ray Golf
real
Sierra.
quickly. I got an email from their loyalty program manager. Saying, oh, this was made without the loyalty points. If you have if you're part of our loyalty program, if you can provide your membership number, I'll be able to put that in so you get the points for the stay. And I said, well, I'm not a loyalty member, but would you be able to get me a veterans discount? And then after I sent it, I'm like, wait a minute, I blocked it under the blocked rooms that they already had set aside for Flight Sim Expo, and that was already at a discount rate. So after I sent it, I was like, no, there's not going to be a discount. And the person responded, I can't give you a discount, but I can comp you a room upgrade to thank you as our way of thanking you for your service. Here you go. And so I was like, okay, but then I thought about it, and I sent her a couple emails throughout the week, up until the point, and saying, I just want to make sure I'm not going to get charged for the room upgrade or whatever. And so finally she said, no, you don't have to pay extra or anything. This is just, I've already put this in. You've got the room. It's, so it was a pretty nice room. The only thing that I didn't like was the fact that the windows are not double pane, so you hear everything on the street. And between midnight and 4 a.m., it was like drama central on the streets near the hotel. So that's the only thing I didn't like. The room was very nice, though, pretty spacious. I had a big king size bed to myself, so I laid down in the middle and I had the whole bed to myself. And then the restaurant at the hotel, the floor is very nice, very good food, pretty expensive for the most part, but otherwise it was good all around. And so I enjoyed that. Thursday was just kind of a
X-ray Golf Sierra contact NorCal approach on 135.1. Good day.
just kind of getting settled in and all that.
135.1 X-ray Golf Sierra.
So that was pretty
Goodbye.
cool. Friday, got up Friday
NorCal
morning,
approach
was
Alpha
stressing
Sierra
because
X-ray
I wanted
Golf
to eat
Sierra
breakfast
10,000 feet.
and all that, and
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf, Sierra NorCal approach
get to
altimeter
the
30.12
convention center, which was
radar
right
contact.
across the
Continue
street
to
from the
Bravo Sierra
hotel,
Romeo.
and did the tower tour, which was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. I kind of got the sense that they weren't, the people that were working on Friday morning were not entirely thrilled about us being there, but they tried to pretend that they were okay with it, but they didn't seem like they were. If that makes sense. The one guy who was, I guess, the manager on duty, he's like, oh, so, he asked around who has real world pilot experience or ATC experience, and a couple of people raised their hands, and then everybody else. So he's like, oh, so the rest of you are just like aviation geeks.
133.9 X-ray
And
Golf
then he
Sierra.
was like, well, I didn't mean that as an
Goodbye.
insult. And it's like,
NorCal
well,
approach Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra 10,000 feet.
okay, but still, you know, it was like one of those things. But anyway, it was really neat. Got to go up to the tower first. They broke us up into two groups. One group went to the tower, one group went to Tracon. I got up in the tower first, which was really cool. Got to see the whole pushback and takeoff of the Southwest Airlines flight. Got to listen to they had somebody working the scopes and all that, whatever you want to call it. She's managing the traffic on the ground, telling people when to taxi and where to go and all that. It wasn't super busy, but it was just really cool to see all that in play. And then once it departed, she handed them off to downstairs to Tracon, and then they routed them out for their departure the rest of the way, whatever. And then a JetBlue, I think it was a JetBlue, came in for landing. So watch that. And then there was a couple Cessna 172s. Hello, Oz. How are you? Nice to see you. So, you know, telling them where to taxi, which stand to go to, or which gate to go to, and all that. You know, the handoff to ground or whatever. So that was pretty cool. It was good that it wasn't super busy, because we got to kind of see all the, you know, stuff in action, so to speak. And then there's Kev. All right, he's way up there altitude. So that was pretty neat. No, see, yeah, I just got back I was out of town for a week. Flight Sim Expo. So got back from the trip. The only thing was you had to turn off your phones. If you had a smart watch, if you had like an Apple Watch or a Samsung watch, all that had to be powered down. Nothing could be on when you went into the building. Everything had to be turned off. No pictures were allowed inside the building. And then we did go downstairs, see Tracon. Now they have a simulator, not like a flight simulator, but a Tracon simulator. So when you're new, they want you, everybody works both places. It's not just one or the other. You spend time in the tower and time in the Tracon, and you flip-flop. So it's not like you only work in one position. They only work a couple hours, and then they get relieved, and then they go take a break, and then they come back, or they go, you know, they switch places or whatever. The Tracon was really neat. So their simulator, they have, you know, pretends, you know, like scopes that they can teach somebody. So one person is the trainee, the person in the middle is the instructor, and the person on the right pretends to be the pilot. So they get used to talking to the pilots and when to route them and whatnot. So that was pretty cool. We went back to the hotel, had a couple hours to chill, so I had some lunch, kind of killed some time, and then it was time for the big announcements on Friday. And I'll just say this I'm not going to get into details, because it's not really, doesn't matter. Politics ruins everything. I'm just going to say that, and take that for what you will, but it's just been, it put a wet blanket over the entire night, for me at least. Now other people might disagree, but it was unnecessary. Okay. Parallel 42 kicked off the event, talking about the Patriot aircraft that's coming to Flight Simulator. They actually had the creator of the Patriot aircraft was there as well. They brought in the plane to Flight Sim. They broke it down. So yeah. And so they trucked it up from Alabama to Providence, and then they put it all together for a display. And then they had the plane was sitting right there, and then they had the plane in Flight Simulator 2024, and you could do the walk around it, so you could look at the plane in real life and look at it in the sim. And they even said, hey, if you spot anything that looks completely wrong in the real plane versus the one in the sim, let us know, because we're gonna fix it before it gets released. So that was pretty cool. It was, I think, trying to get in there and be the first ones out on stage at a big event like that, that's a pretty daunting task, but they did a really good job. It was pretty cool. And then, there was other announcements throughout the night. Nothing new from PMDG at all. They didn't say, I don't think they said anything the entire weekend. Absolutely nothing from Microsoft itself. No pre-recorded message from Jorg or anything, or from the folks from Asobo. Nada, zero, zilch. Let me just put that way. That's what I think of that. That was completely wrong of them to not at least have a pre-recorded message. That just shows a lack of care, I think, of your customers. That was the worst thing they could have done, is to not say anything at all, to not even have some kind of message to the crowd. So they get a big double thumbs down for me for that one. Anyway, moving right along. Their competitor, X-Plane, they totally did that to themselves when they didn't need to. They could have stood up and had a different approach. Nope, they found a way to screw that up too. Double thumbs down for them as well. Winwing. They came out and got the crowd excited. Tony, I think it's Tony Lin or Lim, I can't remember his last name, came out there and got that crowd frickin' pumped. That dude saved Flight Sim Expo, in my opinion. They had the best booth. They had, not to take away from the real plane, but everybody was, as soon as Saturday rolled around, Saturday morning, everybody flocked to the Winwing booth, and they had stuff set up to check out. You could look at stuff, you could try it out. They have new rudder pedals that you can also use as pedals for racing. With a flick of the switch, this guy showed me. Yep, I agree, Infidel. You can use the rudder pedals as a gas and brake pedal, and they're not super expensive. For the one with a damper arm on it, it's like under $400, but shipping costs may bring the price up a little bit, but still, it's not that bad at all. So that was pretty awesome. That was cool. Let's see, what else was there? Get back to, so yeah, their booth was by far the most popular. They did win the People's Choice Award for best. I think it was just the People's Choice for Friday. Saturday, the rest of the weekend, for some reason, I don't know why, and I didn't go by over there, but I don't know how, but VATSIM won the Best Booth Award. I'm thinking, but Parallel 42 brought an actual plane to Flight Sim Expo, and they didn't. I'm like, nah, come on, that just doesn't seem right. So yeah, Winwing has a lot of affordable stuff. They have stuff for if you're a fighter pilot, if you're a GA sort of person. Like they have panels. Heaps of change has happened on this side since last. Oh, good to know. They have, in the Airbus, that panel at the top there, kind of right in front of the pilot and the co-pilot, that's for the that has the autopilot system and all that. They have a whole panel for the Airbus, and they will have a whole panel for Boeing. It's absolutely amazing. for the cost of a... Oh, thanks for the resub, boss. Appreciate it. It's just, they're killing it. They absolutely are. The rest of the stuff, a lot of AI driven stuff, AI driven ATC. There's another AI program that is supposed to be like a like a flight trainer, but it's for X-Plane 12 only. But it was a pretty neat product. The guy who is developer for that, he came out and showcased some of the stuff, some changes that they've made to their system, their code, and all that. Where are we? I think I know where we are. Let's just verify. We are. Yeah, I knew it. You can see the outline. Crusty Laguna Seca. Anyway, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of AI stuff. What else? Nothing new from Thrustmaster. Nothing new from Honeycomb has new stuff coming out for a reasonable price if you like Honeycomb, and apparently you can use, if you have Honeycomb, the base plate that's underneath my Alpha and Bravo, you don't have to have new base plates for the new products, according to the guy I talked to. They're not taking pre-orders at all. You get to order it when the product is ready for release later this year, which was interesting. Meridian, which is headed by the guy who used to head up Honeycomb, he was there with his own Meridian GMT. I think he just had the throttle set. He didn't have a yoke, I don't believe. I think he only had throttle sets. His presentation on Friday was all over the place. They had to come out. Mustafa had to come out and kind of get him off the stage to keep things going. Kind of felt bad for him, but he was not very coherent in his plans. You know what he was trying to say. It was like he was trying to take a dig at Honeycomb, but it just kind of fell apart. But yeah, nothing significant from any builds other than an update for the A350. Now they have an ultra long range A350 for folks who like to do long haul flights. They had an update for that they talked. They just did a video, and then the Doha airport scenery pack or scenery thing that they put together. Let's see what else. I think that was pretty much it. So Saturday, I was able to check out. I had a list. I wrote down a list of all the people I wanted to go visit, all the booths. I did it all in like 3 hours. And there were some that like Meridian, I was just kind of like, no, I'm not going to go over there and really spend any significant time talking to them. It just, I was like, no. But yeah, it was a neat experience. I'm glad I went. Really enjoyed meeting the folks from Parallel 42 since I have some of their stuff, and looking forward to actually, I got to climb into the Patriot and sit in the front seat. That was pretty cool. Wasn't easy for me to get in and out. I was trying not to overdo it with my right arm, but it was really neat to actually sit in the plane and check out everything and all that. So I'm glad I went. It wasn't as big as I expected. I really think, I wish I could have gone to Houston, because I hear Houston was a lot better. There was more stuff, more things to check out. This seemed like, even though the hall seemed big, it didn't take very long to get around and check out everything. So that was my only, the only thing, not a complaint. Next year will be in Minneapolis, St. Paul. I don't think I'm going to go to that one. I'd like to, but it's just, there's not a hotel connected to the convention center in Minneapolis. I like the fact that in Providence, you didn't have to walk outside the hotel. You go down a hallway, and then you keep going straight, and the next thing you know, you're in the convention center. So it's much easier to get around. You don't have to drive or anything. There's other hotels that were right nearby that if you couldn't get into the Omni, you could go there instead. But even then, you didn't have to walk very far. It was like, in some cases, it was right across the street. So yeah, it was fun. I'm glad I went. It was neat to see things in person, to check out the stuff from Wind Wing. I got the chance to talk to Tony for a few minutes, and I said, your presentation was phenomenal, and he was like, oh, it could have been better. I'm like, no, dude, I don't think you could have been any better than what you did. It really did energize the crowd, and which I thought was really cool. They're going to make money hand over fist this year. I'm positive.
NorCal approach Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra 10,000 feet.
So,
Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra NorCal approach altimeter tree 0.1 tree
we
radar
gotta get
contact.
next
Continue to Bravo Sierra Romeo.
240.
X-ray Golf Sierra contact Oakland Center on 127.45.
23 nautical miles to go.
Going to 127.45 X-Ray Golf Sierra.
They are, Evan,
Oakland
on
Center,
Sunday
Alpha
when they
Sierra X-ray Golf
revealed
Sierra
the
10,000
location of next year's Flight Sim
Alpha
Expo,
Sierra X-ray Golf
they're
Sierra
debating
Oakland
on
Center altimeter tree 0.1 tree radar
where,
contact. Continue
or
to
the
Bravo
idea
Sierra Romeo.
of
X-ray Golf Sierra contact NorCal approach on 1
having,
tree 3.0.
having it in one location.
One tree
But they don't know where that
X-ray
would be.
Golf Sierra. Goodbye.
Um,
NorCal approach Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf
So,
Sierra 10,000 feet.
they're trying to find places
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra NorCal approach altimeter tree 0.14 radar contact. Continue to Bravo Sierra Romeo.
that have more than one convention center. That way they can get a good deal, so they can try to talk to somebody and say, can we do this and for this price, and it keeps the costs down. People inquired about the idea of it going to Canada, but Evan said that's something they can look at in the future. Right now it's way too expensive to go to like Toronto or Vancouver or places like that. So yeah, overall it was a pretty neat experience. I'm glad I went at least one time to see it in person. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. Really enjoyed the hotel. It was pretty nice. There was, the mall's right next. It's connected, so I think people who brought their spouses or families with them, that's where they spent most of their time during the expo itself. But yeah, it was really cool to go. I'm pretty happy that I went. It was a nice getting out of town for a bit and all that. So, but I really wish I had gone to Florida or to Houston. I think I would have enjoyed that one even more. But yeah. ads, yeah. Yeah, it'll be done in about a minute. All right. So I was saying, I'm glad I went. It was a neat experience. Um, I'm, pretty happy that I was able to go. Um, so yeah, it was cool. It was overall, it was a good experience. But yeah. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I would like to get some stuff from Wind Wing, looking at a couple of their things. I think I'm going to end up getting a next level racing chair system, rig, all that, because that's what they had hooked up. Now I did see Fanatec had their rig, but that was more for racing. But you could use it to a degree with flight simming. You could put an alpha or an alpha yoke in the center instead of a steering wheel,
127.45
and then
Golf
you could
Sierra.
use
Goodbye.
a
Oakland Center
HOTUS
Alpha Sierra
throttle
X-Ray Golf Sierra
for your
10,000 feet.
throttles.
Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Oakland Center altimeter
They don't
30
have a
11
large
radar
enough plate to
contact. Continue
handle
Bravo Sierra
a
Romeo.
Bravo. It didn't seem like. They did have some of their racing wheels out, which were really cool. They look like something out of an F1 car or a GT racer. I'm sure those are not cheap either, but that was pretty cool to see. Because they also, on the other side, was the company that they had some of the stream decks out. They didn't have any with them, so it wasn't like they were selling any of the product. It was just you could try stuff out, and that was pretty much it. There was a couple places that had VR. That's another thing that people are getting more into is VR. But it's not something. I think it's kind of a niche. One of the guys I was talking to Sunday morning, he said it's a niche market within a niche hobby. So yeah, that's. I think that's a pretty fair way of looking at it. Okay, let's swap over to the next frequency. So we're going to have to change much on that. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I had a good time. So yeah, next Saturday, possibly, we'll do a DC-6 flight. I gotta come up with. I have kind of a plan, but I gotta kind of look into it and see what I'm going to do for
X-ray
sure.
Golf Sierra, contact Oakland Center on 126.9er. Good day.
126.9er X-ray Golf Sierra. Goodbye. Oakland Center Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra 10,000 feet.
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra, Oakland Center altimeter tree 0.09er radar contact. Continue.
There's Kev way out yonder over the Central Valley, I think. Infidel's right behind me. Kind of hugging the coast. Got a bit of a crosswind here. Oh, the Navigraph Academy. So they had a presentation, I think Saturday, yeah, on the FS Elite stage. It is a abbreviated course for a virtual pilot license. It's not an in-depth ground school and all that. They basically tried to hone in on the more to certain elements of a PPL program, but it's abbreviated for Flight Sim. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. I think the only thing it may cost you is a Navigraph subscription, but maybe even that all I heard was free, but they didn't say that you had to have a Navigraph account. So they're putting together videos for YouTube, and that's still forthcoming. They're finishing up some stuff. Once that one's done, they may do another series for like multi-engine or instrument rating, stuff like that. So yeah, that I do remember wanting to hear about that, and that's exactly what they said. It was not going to be a super in-depth, buying a bunch of books and whatnot. It's covering the basics at the bare minimum. So I think, for simmers who want to have a bit more knowledge, I think it's a great idea. So, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, I wanted to say thank you, Sean. He's a new follower. I know him from playing that game, as Abello likes to call it. We were talking the other day, and I said, yeah, I stream flight simming on Saturdays, so thank you, Sean, for the follow 4 days ago. Thank you, Ashev, for the Oras FF89 for the resub. Appreciate it. So yeah, we'll do DC6. I think we're going to try to do that next Saturday, week of the 12th July. I have to come up with some stuff for the remainder of the month. Now, before I left, we were going to do a transatlantic flight in the 747-800. However, comma pause for effect. We are going to do a transatlantic flight, but it will not be in the 747-800. I have at my disposal from PMDG the 777 freighter. Now, what is possible and I gotta figure out how this whole thing works. Okay. It's possible to condense the time of the flight. If you remember the last flight that I did before I went, when we did San Francisco to Dallas Fort Worth, there's a thing that you can compress the time. I have to figure out how that works. So I think it's basically when you get to your level of cruise, you engage that. I think. I could be wrong, but I have to look into it. And so that compresses the cruise time, and then you pause at the top of descent, and then you return the time to normal, and then you go into your arrival portion, and then your approach. So I gotta figure out how that works. I need to do a tutorial flight. They have it is with me is called depressing time. Huh? What are you talking about, Kev? So if I can figure out how that works, we can do a transatlantic flight. It will not take 4 or 5 hours or 6 hours or 7 hours. We can compress the flight into a couple hours, take off from JFK and be in Heathrow much quicker than it normally would take. I just have to figure out how that works. So that may not be this month. It may be in August.
X-ray Golf Sierra, contact Oakland Center on
So we'll see.
128.7. Good day.
Going to 128.7 X-ray
So that will
Golf
be
Sierra.
coming. If I can figure it out before
Oakland
the end of the
Center,
month, we
Alpha
may
Sierra,
do it on the
X-ray Golf
last
Sierra,
bit of
10,000
July.
feet.
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Oakland. Center altimeter 30
So let me-
0
actually, let me
radar
pull up my-
contact. Continue.
I tell you, I get these so we got the 12th and 19th and the 26th, August 2, 9, 16, 23, and 30. Alright, September. Let's talk about September, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. I have a appointment in early September. That is on the 8th, which is a Monday. Depending on how I feel after that appointment, there may not be a. Let's see, that's the second full week of September. There may or may not be a flight on the 13th. So we'll see. It depends on how I feel after that appointment. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Saturdays in August. So yeah, we'll figure something out for the 777 flight. It may be a freighter, it may be a passenger version. I only have the freighter version right now. So the 777-200 ER is, you could buy it from PMDG, and then supposedly it's stable enough for 2020 and 2024. So we'll see. I would like to do a passenger one because there's not a cargo like British Airways or anything like that. I can do Lufthansa cargo, but they don't fly them. So we'll see. So I gotta get some practice in with that. What else? I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm gonna come up with some stuff for the remainder of the month. We'll say for sure DC6 on the 12th. I have an idea of what I want to do. I just gotta look at the overall plan and see how long would it be. I think it'll cruise a little bit faster than this plane, so it won't take long to do. If it's an hour, it's an hour. We'll just do an hour flight and call it a day. Yeah. So Kev, sad stuff going on with them Texas floods. Yeah. People want the rain until it comes, and then they're just like, oh my god, there's too much. Alright, we're on our way to NQO. This one is RZS. Alright, so, can I show more news? Yeah, I don't watch the news because it's too depressing. Alright, let's talk about the flight plan instead. Let's bring up a little now. Alright, so we're on our way here to Santa Barbara. Or San Luis Obispo, I'm sorry. Coral Bay, San Luis Obispo, this is TACAN. Or Vortac. Is it Vortac or Tech? Vortac. Okay, anyway. Once we leave there, so actually let's talk about all the way down here. November Tango Delta here at Point Mugu Naval Air Station. Once we go there, what we're going to do is we're going to go into heading mode, and we're just going to try to stay we're going to hug this area here. Okay. We're going to go past Circus, and then we're going to turn towards it, and we're going to turn in and follow the RNAV approach into LAX. Okay. So once we get here, we shouldn't be very far from LAX. Okay. So that's what we're gonna. Once we get there, we're gonna turn. We won't go on a direct heading of 080 degrees or whatever. We're gonna probably about maybe less than 080 degrees. Probably about 70 or 60 degrees. Okay. That's the plan. Now we can look at, so this is our arrival. 25 left has a 1 knot tailwind currently. So that's still within a reasonable thingy. So 25 left. Approach. 25 left. This one. Yep, so that's already up. So basically we're gonna go here. We have to be 1900 right there. So that's what we're doing. Okay? That's the plan. That's the plan of attack. We like to have a plan. We can certainly change the plan if necessary. If it comes down to that, we will do so. I think what else? I think that's it. So yeah, we'll come up with some other stuff for the remainder of the month besides the DC-6 flight for next week. Um, so anybody wants to fly along, you're more than welcome to. Just make sure you can keep up with the DC-6. What else? I think that would be just about it. Alright, let's look at our fuel situation. So we're almost done on the auxiliary tanks.
On 119er, decimal 05.
Get a little bit lower, and we'll swap back over to the main tanks.
119er
should take
decimal
us the rest of the
05
way
X-ray Golf Sierra.
into
Goodbye.
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles Center Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra 10,000 feet.
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra Los Angeles Center altimeter 30.08 radar contact. Continue to Mike Quebec Oscar.
All right. Yeah, pretty nice flight down the coast here. For those back there, Kev is way over yonder. He might beat me to LAX. That's okay. Kev, are we not flying today? Did I understand your message correctly? No flight today, but flight tomorrow? Or what's the dealio? To FSE, it would be cool to have it in Huntsville. Yes, yeah, you're right, it would be. Yeah, because you have the Rocket Center right there. That would be cool. Yeah, that would be nice. I know Huntsville has an airport. It's a regional airport though, so you might have to fly into, yeah. You would either have to fly into Nashville and then take a jumper down to Huntsville, or you would have to rent a car from Nashville. I think Atlanta would be way too far to fly into, although it's a much larger airport. But you could probably rent a car from Atlanta as well if it's cheaper to fly into Atlanta. Yeah, that would be a great place. I would like to see it at Savannah as well, because you have, yep, there's that. They have the, in Savannah, the 8th Air Force Museum isn't far from the convention center. So if they could do a tour bus, get a tour bus and go over to the 8th Air Force Museum, there's that as well. Because there is a convention center right next to a hotel in Savannah, and then you can take a boat across the river to downtown Savannah, and they've got restaurants there, and, you know, all kinds of cool stuff. You can do the haunted tours of Savannah, all that. That would be a great thing as well. But Evan made it clear that they're looking for places that have more than one. Have it at Kev's house. More than one convention center. That's what Evan said. I don't know how set in stone that is, but he did say that the more convention centers in an area, the better, because then they can try to get it the lowest price possible and try to save money for everybody. Yeah, but there was no other convention center that I know of in Providence, for instance. So that's why I'm like, how set in stone is that? Or, you know, if most convention centers would try to probably work with them because it brings a lot of business to the area. You know, you have people going out to eat, drink, you know, hotels make a boatload of money, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, let's change our go ahead and swap frequencies. So this one's set frequency. And the last one is 11060. Yeah, and that gives developers time to work on product to have something new showcase or whatever. I could see that. Yeah, because then we give people time to save up for the trip, you know, and all that. So, yeah, I could see that. You know, it's just it's hard to fathom though that a company would spend the time going there. Like, I'll use PMDG for instance, and this isn't a dig against them, but if you have you're going to Flight Sim Expo, and if you don't have much to talk about, it seems kind of like you spend a lot of money to get there, right? You brought in, you know, like your team basically. That's not cheap to do. So it's kind of like, you know what, but to not have anything to talk about, you know, so then it's like, why go if you don't have anything to talk about? So anyway, I'm still waiting on a Kev. If you're still there, I think I lost some viewers somehow. Kev, are you there? He's still in the chat. There we go. But at the end of the day, it's a video game, so it's a simple. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. There was a truck simulator, but it wasn't like ATS or ETS. This was a completely different standalone truck simulator. Which was kind of okay. That's fine. No worries. What about tomorrow? Are we flying tomorrow or no? Or do you still got to go to work tomorrow as well? If not, that's fine. Or is it up in the air? You're not sure. You won't be fun. Should be okay. All right, then I'll plan for. That's fine. Yeah, that would. I think every other year would be good. I just don't know that. That might be. Well, I guess in a way that would be good because then you could have the possibility that could be at a bit fancier family. Oh, family. Okay, it's a wait and see. Okay, that's fine. No worries. So yeah, if you do it every other year, you could have it at a much nicer location, possibly. And there's more to do, you know. But I don't know. It's a tough call to make. Yeah, I know. Um, that is an interesting one. I need to clean my rudder pedals. Whoa, dirty. Uh,
X-ray Golf Sierra contact range approach on 121.4. Good day.
121.4 X-ray Golf Sierra. Goodbye. Range approach Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra 10,000 feet.
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra range approach altimeter tree 0.08 radar contact. Continue.
all right. Kev, one of these days when you have time, I would like to have. Well, how did that get paused? My stream was paused for some reason. All right. Okay. I would like to, if you could help me get things set up for a, bringing people into voice chat and all that. Kind of like how you do with me on the flight simming. I've got a new laptop, and it's a Windows laptop, so I think I can do all that now versus than when I was on my MacBook Pro. So, whenever you have time, I greatly appreciate it. If it goes way back there, I can't keep both of you in the screen. Alright, let's see where we're at now. 44 nautical miles is our fuel. Okay, we'll keep it on that for just a little bit longer, and then we'll flop over to the main tanks, and that should take us all the way in. So we got 3 people flying a company route today for Parasox. Yay. Flew this way to see the Channel Islands, but the fog. Ah, yeah. Yeah, a little layer of fog there. I can see it now. So yeah, we have a couple new things coming up soon to the channel. We're going to have possibly, we figured out how to do other folks in the voice chat, and say intentions. So I got to figure out how to get that all set up. I don't know if it would all work together or not, because I'm not sure how all of that would be, so that people aren't talking over me when I'm talking to ATC. And maybe on the times that we do say intentions, there won't be anybody in voice chat. But, yeah, I don't know. Okay. 25 left is our preferred runway choice. Just a tad of a tailwind. I think we'll be okay. Let's see. You donkey. Okay. Alright, so it's only 40 nautical miles to our next nav point here. Point Goo Oxnard. Yep. I thought about adding the like sounds, but I'm not sure how to do all that. I have a song that I want to use for an opening song, but I got that from that Suno website. But I don't know, like I don't have a paid subscription with them, so I don't know how that's going to work.
X-ray Golf Sierra, contact Santa
You
Barbara
know,
approach
as
on
far
127
as
decimal
copyright
725.
stuff goes.
Good day.
Going to 127
No,
decimal
no gambling.
725
No,
X-ray Golf
no,
Sierra.
there won't be any of that. Nothing.
Santa Barbara approach Alpha
That
Sierra
people
X-ray
are going
Golf
to
Sierra
spam stuff, and
10,000
then it's
feet.
just going to get crazy for me to be able
Alpha
to
Sierra X-ray Golf
keep
Sierra,
up with the
Santa
chat.
Barbara
No.
approach altimeter 30.08 radar.
I saw what
contact.
happened with
Continue
Kev's
to Romeo
channel
Zulu
with that.
Sierra.
No. All right, I think this would be a good opportunity. I know we're pretty far out, but I'm going to go ahead and do predictions. All right, landing rate predictions are up. I'm going to use this opportunity to step away for a moment, take a quick break. I'll be right back. Comes there, comes there. Yeah, nobody's on the channel or on the. I'll be right back. Yes, Kev, I know that. That's why I said I know. From Mr. B Ranch. Well, see, it hasn't been out very long. They got an update already out. So there you go. Alright, let's see what we're... So, yep, get your predictions in. I'm not going to look, see who voted. It's completely up to you if you want to. 26 minutes remaining on that. So, that should get us pretty much all the way there. Alright, let's go ahead and go back to our main tank, shall we? I think that would be a good idea, so we don't forget and then run out of fuel on the way. Then we end up crash landing. Teriyaki beef jerky. So yes, Kev, if you could help me get like sounds and voice chat set up, I would greatly appreciate that. And then I need to figure out a start screen. And music for that. So I'd like to have something like that. For flight simming, I have a Windows laptop now, so I can do more with that than I could with the for my stream. No, just for the heck of it, so I can sit here and talk to myself. Not saying it has to be today. I'm just saying whenever you have time and we can sit down. You're never here for a while. Typical Kev, everybody. No clue. You know, if Debbie was in the chat, she'd say that's about par for the course there, Kev. No clue. You were killing a bee. Oh, man. Really? What did that bee ever do to you? That's okay. I just was asking, you know, whenever you have time, it doesn't have to be today, just whenever things are quiet enough that you can give me a hand. If not, that's all right. It made you buy an EpiPen. Wow. You know? I know what you meant. You'd be surprised how many people I used to run into when I was a medic in the Army that did not, who should have had an EpiPen but never carried it with them. Unbelievable. And it wasn't like they had to pay out of pocket for that EpiPen either. That was prescribed to them, so they didn't have to pay for it. All right.
X-ray Golf Sierra, contact Los Angeles Center on
I don't want to talk to Los
119.05.
Angeles Center. No, you can't tell me what to do.
119.05 X-ray Golf Sierra.
They're
Goodbye.
overrated. What's a little shortness of air?
Los
Yeah.
Angeles Center Alpha
Oxygen.
Sierra X-ray
You
Golf
don't need
Sierra
oxygen.
10,000 feet.
Who needs oxygen?
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra, Los Angeles Center altimeter tree 0.05 radar contact. Continue to November Tango Delta. X-ray Golf Sierra, contact Los Angeles Center on 135.5. Good day.
135.5 X-ray Golf Sierra. Goodbye. Los Angeles Center Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra 10,000 feet.
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf, Sierra Los Angeles Center altimeter tree 0.06 radar contact. Continue to November Tango Delta.
All right. So it looks like we have a lot of fog coming in. LA's still fogged in. But that's okay. We have a plan. We're going to implement that plan as best as we can. A little bit of crosswind, it looks like. Yep. Alright, let's see if let's just look, because we can change things right now if we have to. 25 left is still the preferred arrival. You know, 1 knot tailwind coming in. We'll take it. Gorilla of the Mist. Yeah. Remember that movie? Alright, now what we can still do, even though we're not going to use it, we can dial in the ILS frequency for 2.5 left. I believe there is one. Yep. 1190. Final heading will be get that down. Go ahead and switch to heading mode now. No, I'm surprised Point Mugu is a naval air station because I thought it used to be for the longest time a Marine Corps air station. Wonder when the Navy took it over. It's part of the 40th anniversary. Infidel should have it. Everybody got it for free. Didn't matter which version of the sim you bought. 40th anniversary, you had like 4 or 5 planes, something like that, for free. Yeah. I'll stick to glass cockpit. Well, they have one that has an autopilot system. It's not super fancy, but it works. Yeah, it is. I agree. Alright, there's Point Magoo coming up. Should be like right here, I believe. That kind of looks like an airport of some kind. Unless it's just... no, that should be it. Yep, that's it. If I can work the AP, then you can. Yep, that's true. It just took Kev a million tries and frustration and cursing it out. Alright, that's coming in here shortly. Yeah. I'm going to try 070 as our heading. Alright, let's see if we can talk to LA.
Los Angeles Tower Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is tree 6 miles west 10,000 feet with golf to land.
Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Los Angeles Tower. Altimeter
Go ahead
tree
and do
0.06
right traffic.
1091 at tree. Enter left traffic runway 25 left.
Make left traffic runway 25 left X-Ray Golf Sierra.
There we go. Alright, we're all set then. Coming in on 25 left. Got about 8 minutes. Landing prediction. Okay, we got about 7 minutes left. Hard to blaze of glory. typing's all over the place today, Kev. You're not making much sense. Oh, my landing. Oh. If you're ready to land, if you got it, go for it. If you're going to be ready before me, go for it. Okie dokie. Well, I'm supposed to be going left, but my flight plan takes me to the right. There's LAX right there. Over. We're gonna split down the middle of these three airports: Whitman, Van Nuys, and Bob Hope. That's it'll be from now 45 nautical miles. Oh, yes, thank you. Left, I can't see. All right, 10990 for your ILS, Kev. Final heading at 251. $1,900 feet is your final altitude. Go ahead and dial in 1,900 now. Or start a lazy descent. What you gotta do. I just saw a UFO. Was it, might be infidel. Yep. It was infidel. Yeah. It usually gets pretty busy around here. Get back on the magenta line here. Oh, I can't believe you put that in there. Oh, infidel. Mm. Oh boy. Debbie's gonna be disappointed. Can't believe you said the Dodgers. How could you, infidel? Alright, oh boy. We may have descended a little too early. baseball. I do ever hate the New York team, I won't say. Well, most people don't like the Yankees. I know it's... and I guess some people have a very valid... feel they have a valid reason not to like them. And I could see that. They're not... the... So how did everybody do on their landing? Infidel, or Kev, are you still looking for the airport, or did you make it? Infidel's on final. All right. Oh, we're coming really close to these mountains. Oh, oh no. All right. Well, that kind of worked out for the best. Should have added just a touch more fuel. We're gonna. All right, predictions are over. Thank you for everybody who voted. $176, nice. There's that racetrack that we found the other day, Kev, California Speedway. We did that short flight here in Southern California. Fighting my flight stick. Oh. Obviously the flight stick won. Yeah, everybody should have it. It was a freebie. Nobody had to pay for the All right. But the dogs. Yeah, I'm sure they're counting on me because they want their lunch here in a couple hours, and I gotta make it for them. What kind of fuel we got? Oh, we got enough left. We're okay. I know we have some in the auxiliary tanks if we have to pop them. Should have made it 70%, but that's okay. All right, Infidel, thanks for flying along. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Take care. You heading out too, Kev? I guess you gotta go to work, so if you gotta go, thanks for flying along. Appreciate it. Oh, okay. All right. Was thinking. Yeah, it's very, very soupy. Well, it's still early in the morning. It's only like 7, 10, 8:30 in the morning. So the fog hasn't completely burned off yet. Okay. So once I get to 1900, I should be able to. Once I nose it over for final, I should be all right. All right, get the ILS frequency. Yeah. I did. Well, it's been a while since I streamed, and I wanted to try to get some time out of it. Keep calm, keep calm. Yeah, I'm doing fine. All right. mess of names there, Kev. Somewhere in there. All right, we are.
X-ray Golf Sierra, wind 118 at 5. Clear to land runway 25 left.
Here we go.
Clear to land runway 25 left X-ray Golf Sierra.
Well, that came out just right. We're right at the right altitude, coming in for final. Like it when a plane comes together. Although we almost crashed into some mountains coming in, we made it. That's the important part. That's all right. We're still about 4.5 nautical miles out, so. Yeah, I see him. The 738. Kev. Salute to the 738 for waiting. Appreciate it. Bok bok chicken. Thank you. That's got to be greased. That's got to be greased. I'll come back to you, Kev.
X-ray Golf Sierra, exit runway when able.
Thank you, Mela. That was a 72. I'll take it. Felt better than that, but I'll take it.
X-ray Golf Sierra, contact ground on 121.65.
121.65 X-ray Golf Sierra. Goodbye. Los Angeles ground Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra request taxi to parking.
Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Alpha 8 Alpha Lima cross runway 25 left Lima cross runway 25 right Lima Bravo Charlie 10 Charlie.
Taxiing to general aviation parking
I'll come
using
find you,
taxiway
Kev. I
Alpha
know
8
you're
Alpha
to
Lima
my
cross
left.
runway 25 left Lima cross
Yeah, I
runway
see.
25 right Lima Bravo Charlie 10 Charlie X-ray Golf Sierra.
Yeah, that felt good. That was a good landing. Not too shabby for first time back. Hey, all right, hold on. Is that what you guessed? $22.3K goes to Kev. Thank you, Kev, for playing. Kev guessed it correctly. Yep. I think you got 2.3K. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Part next to you and get a picture real quick. We'll be back next Saturday, same time, same channel, same everything except different plane. We'll be in the DC-6. I will put together some kind of a plan for those who are interested. I think what we're going to try to do is go to Kazakhstan from Kyrgyzstan. DC-6. That was 75, right? 72. So you were still in the right. All right, got the picture, Kev. Thank you very much. I know you got to get out of here and get to work. I won't stand for these stand places. Skirt across the runway here. to Kazakhstan. Get another flag for the case. But we won't go from Manas. Since that's a closed airport, we'll find another airport in Kyrgyzstan to fly out of. I can't stand. Come on, Kev. We try to fly to interesting places that none of us will ever get a chance to visit. That's what we're trying to do. You never know, the scenery might be very nice. Thank you again, Oshev, for the FF89 for the resub. I can't stand too long. Thank you for the resub, Os, and thank you to Shocked Sean for the follow earlier this week. Appreciate it. Snooze the ads so we can get to a proper parking spot here. So yeah, we'll do something in DC6. If it's not going to be there, if it's going to be too short or too long, we'll come up with something else, something nice for the flight, and then I gotta take a picture of the landing rate that I got. Can't forget that. Dang, dude. Okay. My bad. W. Williamson says, I'm going to go off the different way for the 777. I don't care. Thanks again to Kev and to Infidel Fireman for flying along today. Appreciate it. I don't think I asked for parking for gate, but that's where they're sending me to, it looks like. Wife can't stand too long. I think you forgot the can't stand me too long. Wife will have a frying pan in her hand before too long. Apply to Debbie Stand. Debbie Stand us. Stands us. All right, that's good enough for government work. All right. Thank you, Mel. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. There we go. 2 hours and 26 minutes in the air. I like it. And that was a company route. All can stand. Okay. Kev's gonna try to find everything he can to make it into a stand. All right. That will do it for today, folks. Let's get out of here before the ads start. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and hanging out. And thank you, Mela, for being here. I will... see you all next Saturday. Appreciate it, Mela. Yeah, we'll be back in the DC-6. I should be flying with Kev tomorrow as long as if that's still on the agenda. If not, that's all perfectly fine. Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, early Sunday already. For some folks around the world, I have been and always shall be your host, pilot, lead singer, driver of the airplane, Uncle B. Until next Saturday, peace. Live long and prosper.